You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Girls After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Girls After Show.
Hi, everybody. Being as we're doing, and we are doing another Girls After Show. I am your host, Kellie O, and I am joined by two fabulous, lovely ladies tonight. And they are...
Spicy Marty in the building, y'all.
Miss Miriam. We had yes, we had a lot of great stuff going on in tonight's show. So I want to remind you guys, please go to iTunes and download our podcast and rate us and comment and leave all, let us know what you think. There's a lot of controversial things in the show. There are a lot of relatable things in the show. So we want to know, we want to get you in the mix, we want to be interactive. So tell us what you think. All right, let's get into it. We've got, the title of this episode is All Adventurous Women Do.
Yes, we do.
Love the title.
We do.
Season 1, Episode 3. So, do you want to get into last week's to kind of catch us up since Maddie was out on vacation?
I was. I made sure to watch it at home. I DVR'd it, and it was so good.
Well, last week we left off with Jessa possibly being pregnant, an abortion party being thrown, Jessa not being pregnant, Jessa not showing up to the abortion party, and Hannah goes and gets an STD test.
Right, which brings us to
today's episode.
Right.
We have the start of the show, which opens with, Marnie sitting at the table with her boyfriend.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So they were sitting at the table together, and, he's like, I have a surprise for you, and, he sets it up in a way where she's screwed either way. So, like, she has this whole thing where she's really not that attracted to him. And, of course, she wants to, in one of the episodes, she's like, I want to do you like a stranger. And so now here he comes, and he's like, he has a surprise for her, and it's the fact that he shaved his head, but he doesn't tell her right away why. And she gets extremely, extremely upset because he shaved his head.
Well, she's critical of him because when you don't like someone, you're extremely annoyed. They're just obnoxious to you.
Everything they
do
gets
She starts bagging on him about his hair, and then he admits, well, it was for the cancer patient that shaved, that it's losing her hair, so I shaved my head in honor of her, and made her feel like a complete douchebag.
Which is a great gesture, and it shows the kind of person that he is. Yeah. This poor guy just seems like he's such a genuine, nice person. He really thinks of others, wants to, just seems like all around. I mean, granted, we don't know too much about his character yet and what their issues are, and whatever.
So far, he's a little bit of a poon.
I wouldn't say that. I think Charlie is the nice guy in the world that unfortunately women just don't appreciate because sometimes they want a little bit of an asshole.
They do.
And that's what she wants. That's what she's missing. She's missing that spice, that fire.
It's challenge. A challenge is what she needs. She's now she's 24. She's got this whole adult life going on and this adult job, and her not so adult boyfriend who's pretty much kissing her butt all day long, and she's not having it. And so with that being said, they're sitting at the table, he surprises her with the shaved head, and it just seemed like the show started with a lot of personality changes. Right. So Hannah comes out and she's dressed like a soft chick.
Well, first you see is like, he ta-da with the shaved head, and then Hannah opens the door, how do I look? And his comment cracked me up. He's like, you look like you're gonna go put a hex on some popular girl.
It's like something straight out of the movie Craft.
The Craft.
Right. She looked like a straight goth chick. She looked like she was going to put a spell on somebody. Totally.
She totally hissed at Marnie. She like hissed at her. What did she say to her?
Well, because Marnie tells her, you look kind of scary, seriously. And she's like, what do you mean by that? Like amazing/awesome? Or what did she
But what
say?
compelled this change? It was obviously Adam, because as women, we want to please the man. We want to switch it up, add a little fire to the... And what, she did this for him? Did he say he wanted somebody a little bit more rough?
Well, he's been doing like role playing in the last few episodes where like...
So goth chick was
Well, I
in
think
her...
she was just trying to be a little bit more sexy, I think. So
Ah,
I don't.
yeah.
I think that's what she was trying to do, because that's the first place she goes, is straight to his
The
place.
pale white makeup with dark
Look-
eyes.
Look out the window.
What did he say to her? He's like, if you come up here, I'm going to tie you to the bed for at least 3 days. He goes,
Right.
that's just the kind of mood I'm in.
Like, cool, I'll be up in a minute.
Dude, I'm like, that's kind of hot, actually.
It is. I mean, she's longing for his approval. She's trying to figure out what she can do to
Right.
make him desire her more, obviously.
Right.
And it's working, because unfortunately, as much as I don't like Adam, he's so charming. He does little things every now and then. He says little things that I'm just kind of like, oh, I might be a sucker for that too.
Yeah, I mean, he's the typical, young 20s guy. He doesn't really have a real job. He sits around. He's,
Yeah.
when we first see him, he's, working out in his apartment. And she says, are you home? For the time being. Yeah, sure.
Like, where's he going to go on no budget?
I mean, he is like a sexy ass douchebag, though. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. His body is phenomenal. I might be a sucker for love too. He looks great without clothes. I'm sorry. As much as
And that's
he
all we
says
ever
rude
see
comments,
him is naked,
Yeah.
pretty much, or in just jeans. That's
Jeans and shirtless.
right?
Yeah, jeans
Wait,
and
him
shirtless.
bicycling? I'm sorry, I can't get that out of my head.
So, and it's funny that you say that. So what winds up happening now, she goes upstairs, they're having sex, and it's like the next day, and she gets a phone call. But prior to her getting the phone call, now this is where I was like, dude, I hate when I'm uncomfortable in my own skin and my significant other or the guy that I'm with decides to be like all grabby on places that I do not need or want to be grabbed. Don't you be grabbing my little pudgy love.
Yes, for those of you at home, if you are a male, do not grab a woman's feminine, luscious body parts that she's not secure about.
It's never ever fun.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
Right. Women don't like that
It's
crap.
never fun for
Especially
us.
Hannah. She didn't like her love handles being rubbed on, okay?
No, I mean, it's one thing like if you do like the sweep down across the body, but the whole squishing
No.
stuff is just inappropriate.
No, and make sure that we're laying down flat.
Right. Don't make faces with our fat. Don't pinch it. Don't do any of that.
And don't tell us that our body is funny.
pretend like we have a six-pack.
Oh my God. So for 2 seconds, if you squeeze the belly together, it's what I call a bagel.
That's not
I can't
okay.
take it. I felt so bad for her in that moment because I hate that.
Well, and then he stands up and he's like, find my fat. It'll make you feel less alone.
He thought that he was doing...
He has
and
none.
He didn't have any right. There was nothing for her to
But
grab.
he's thinking he's going to make her feel better.
No, but
by...
his comment though to her before, like in between that, he's like, so do you ever try to lose weight? And I'm like, oh no, he did not get there. Like how inappropriate. It's so...
No, he said,
Just
do you
gross.
eat for fun or do you eat for fuel? What? I'm sorry, WTF in that moment. I was like, are you kidding me? That is the rudest question that you can ask someone because you're pretty much trying to imply that I'm eating just to pig out.
It's
Well,
like,
but-
do
but
I do
here-
McDonald's or do I have a healthy steak and veggies?
Okay, let me play the other side since we don't have our male point of view tonight. Let me just be the devil's advocate and look
Do
on the
that,
other
do
side,
that.
okay? So, granted, trust me, none of that I thought was fun. And if, it's never a fun conversation to talk about weight when you're with a guy that just saw you naked. Like, it's not ever fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but in a little bit of his defense, though, he said it's only like 3 or 4 pounds. You can lose that if you really wanted to. And that's when he was like... he was like, it's not a big deal to me. I think your it's cute. It's kind of funny. This is why I'm playing with it. He's not thinking of it in a negative way, even though it is to us, because usually girls get pretty...
No, I
know,
disagree. I think that it is a negative way. I think
No,
the biggest lie that
yeah.
men tell is that you're not fat, you look great in that outfit.
No, but he didn't say that, and he didn't say she looked great, and he wasn't being mean about it. He was like playing around with her, he was still saying... it's this or that. You could do it if you really wanted to. So do you eat for fun or fuel? He was still being a guy about
I see
it.
you trying to make that argument work, but I think he wants Hannah to lose a few pounds.
Well, of course, and every guy does. You know what I mean? But I'm saying that I don't think he was necessarily being like super malicious about it.
I think to take up your devil's advocate to the next level on a
Go
guy's
for it,
point
Miriam.
of view.
Do that thing, because I'm not feeling it.
I always date that guy that always wants me to be in better shape.
Right.
But the thing is men are very visual, and
Right.
with them
This
being
is true.
very visual, like, you know, that stuff, whether he wants to admit it yet or now or ever, is important. How we look naked to them is important down the road. When you put things in perspective, I mean, he's a guy that's extremely healthy. He's, you know, he says fuel instead of like eat for fun or whatever. And then he's working out when they open the show. And then, of course, after a conversation that they have, which we'll get to in a second, he's doing bicycles. Like, he's constantly
to
working
tell
on his
her to
fitness.
work out. That was his way of telling Hannah, go work out. I think that he wanted to leave her with that, like, oh, I'm busy, I'm working out. So you should be doing the same. I feel like that's what the message that he was trying to send her.
I didn't really get that. I didn't really.
He might as well have bought her smaller clothes in order to give her pipe dreams to live up to, you know, fitting in them one day.
But I mean, I don't know. I think you guys are taking it way to the extreme. But I mean, I definitely understand what you're saying and like all of that. But I think that you're just taking it a little high.
To make
I
matters
get it.
worse, in this whole situation, to make matters worse, Hannah gets the phone call from the doctor's office, and she finds out now, which Thomas was right last week's guest with our predictions, that she has HPV. Now, first of all, the fact that they said that over the phone, not cool, because you're supposed to go see the doctor.
I think you have to go in there to get the results,
you have to go
right?
into the doctor to get results. So the fact that she got a phone call was bad to begin with. But he becomes very defensive when she starts to, she has like no filter as far as her communicating what's going on. So she's like, oh yeah, the doctor just called and I have HPV. And it's like, oh, by the way.
The least sexiest thing to tell a man. By the way, I have an STD.
Well, he got defensive after she accused him of giving it to her.
Right. And he got annoyed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean.
And my favorite part is she says to him, she goes, will you still have sex with me? He goes, when it's appropriate.
With an attitude.
But let's look at this from that side, though. Look at her. She just found out she has an STD. She asked him. She automatically assumed he gave it to her. He gets upset with her. He's not trying to make her feel better. He's not trying to consult her. All she's worried about is, oh my God, will you still have sex with me? That, you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
See, he's already told her. Let's go through. He's already told her she was fat. Doesn't give a crap that she just got an STD. Is mad at her for even suggesting that he gave it to her.
Right.
And she's like, "Can I hug you goodbye?" And he's bicycling on the bed. And all she's worried about is, will you still have sex with me?
Well, she's insecure, obviously, with him. Yeah, she's constantly looking for his approval.
She's hanging on to him, despite the fact that he sits there and says, well, I just got tested last week for HPV and I don't have it. When it's like, dude, first of all, men cannot be tested for that. So that was his first little lie. And it just goes to show how immature that he is in this process. So, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of, but this is, again, goes back to the reaction that people are getting and giving about this show on how real it is and the things that, girls and even guys go through in their early 20s and, right out of high school and college when it comes to relationships is because you don't know. So when you get a serious call like I've got an STD and all you're worried about is, oh my God, my boyfriend still sleep with me. There's kind of something not right there. I'm not really worried about going and, getting my cervix scraped and figuring out if I have, cancer.
Right.
I'm worried about if you're still going to have sex with me.
Do you still desire me?
Yes. I'm more worried about that. On my priority level, you having sex with me is more important to me right now than
her priority level is already off base. So, she leaves his apartment. She calls Marnie right away. Marnie cries hysterically over Hannah's HPV. She's just a hot mess.
So you don't deserve this.
And so in the midst of her having low priorities, Marnie's like, by the way, the rent is due in a week. And she's like, I have pre-cancer.
She plays the victim. She turns into the victim as soon as it's convenient for her so that she doesn't have to once again be responsible. I feel like she's just floating, hoping that, life just happens for her and works out.
Right.
Well, in this whole process, like Hannah's got all these things that she's now starting to discover about herself. And it's becoming very, very realistic and it's becoming extremely scary. Now she finds out that, her boyfriend her booty call, because he's not her
booty
boyfriend.
call, definitely.
The guy that she's doing isn't really just doing her, which we found out last episode, which made her get the STD test. Now she finds out that she has the STD test, and now she's faced with the dilemma of having to confront her other lovers because she thinks that he's right with denying the fact that he has HPV. So with that being said, she goes and she starts reaching out and she finds out now, she's like, let me meet with my ex-boyfriend from college. And maybe he's the one that gave it to me. And how she did not know he was gay is besides me.
Which is even more surprising because she's such a person to research and being online. Why didn't she look up what HPV was? Because she always goes online and looks up everything, and that's why she looked up STDs in the first place.
Right.
You know, the stuff that goes around the condom. So it seems like she would have looked up the definition and how you contract HPV.
That's a good point, because that is what one of my questions was. Is that's what I think is so interesting about. You know, I don't know if it goes back to just being that age or just being so overwhelmed by everything that's happening or what the deal is. But, you know, instead of finding, you know, how do I get this? How did I come to terms, not even asking the doctor, not even, you know, following up to see if Adam's story is even, you know, if that could even be possible, is just automatically going and say, okay, well, I've just got to ask my ex-boyfriend, because then obviously he gave it to me.
Which
Adam
she wasn't going to do. Shoshanna, like, kind of told her or recommended that she confront him about it.
What did Shoshanna call it? The STD world is courteous.
Right. In the STD world, you tell your other lovers when you have something.
Yes, that's the courteous thing to do.
Although men don't know if they have it or not, so you're being courteous for something that they can't even get tested for.
So it's more like embarrassing.
Right, you're just spilling your beans pretty much to your gay lover. Ex lover, I guess you would say.
Well, you know, so they're at the restaurant. Her ex-boyfriend and her at the restaurant, Elijah, and they're having this conversation that is now getting to be completely awkward. You know, Hannah is now becoming extremely emotional over the fact that he is gay, to the fact like her lips quivering, and
that was a great acting job on her part.
And you know, he goes and he starts to explain to her why, you know, that he's gay and how it came about, and then she starts asking questions. And her questions are like, well, were you gay when you were with me? And he's like, yeah. And
how did you have sex with me?
And then he says that she's masculine.
No, he calls her handsome.
There's a handsomeness about you.
Oh my God.
That is an ultimate insult. And then he goes on to accuse other people in her life of being homosexual as well.
Absolutely, which becomes now even scarier to her. And it just goes to show the mentality of the early 20s and the untouchable, it can't happen to me mentality.
Right.
You know, and it's obvious with how she's kind of treating things as they're coming up and they're coming about. So the boyfriend's gay, the STDs, the non-attraction, and now her dad being gay.
I mean, that wasn't necessary.
On the mail
trip. He was just being mean.
He was being
But
mean.
no, honestly, when we were first introduced to her dad's character, I kind of
little head scratching.
He is very sensitive to Hannah.
He is. He's, you know, there's a little,
well, that's a daddy's girl
there's
thing.
a little feminine quality about him. So I don't know if that's too far-fetched, but, you know, I don't know. But,
so let's talk about Marnie and the artist now.
Yeah.
So Marnie is now at this gallery, which her boss dude wasted and throwing her completely under the bus to her favorite artist.
But I like the art. Did you guys notice the art in the back?
No, I was noticing her boss. Trying to hook her up
crazy,
left and right.
But before she came in, like, I don't know, I've been into this whole, like, painting thing recently. But, like, yes.
Artistic Kellie O.
But the art in the back, like, I like some of the paintings. So, I just want to say that, you know, as, you know, AfterBuzz, we've got this really new cool thing that we've got going on. So if you guys want to online shop, you can go straight to AfterBuzzTV.com, and anything you see on our shows, if you're interested in any of the clothes or books or art like we have right now, you can click on our Amazon.com banner from AfterBuzzTV.com and go straight to the site and shop, and that helps us out, and then you get some cool new products.
I know what I won't be shopping for is Hannah's clothing, because then I'm going to be accused of being a lesbian. He was just bagging on her left and right.
Just being mean.
Okay, so back to Marnie. Back to Marnie.
Okay, so we're back to the art.
I'm kind of excited about this sexual exploration that I feel she's trying to discover, because she's not satisfied in her relationship at home.
No, but I'm sorry, but that little artist, he, you know, he's...
Yeah.
His comment, yes. First of all, the fact that, you know, he's successful in his own right is very attractive to her. And he's a very confident man. There's something about a man that exudes confidence that just, I'm sorry, it does it for someone who is more on the level of thinking like
And
a
here's the
woman
thing,
as
too.
opposed to like an early something girl.
Absolutely, but you have to know the difference between being confident and being a douche.
Oh no.
And that's the thing, is there is a difference between the two.
Adam's the douche.
Adam is totally the douche, but this guy is just confident and
he has swagger.
He totally does, and that's what makes him sexy.
Can I quote him?
Yes.
I want you to know the first time that I beep you, I might scare you because I'm a man and I know how to do things. See you later.
I stopped. I was like, thank you.
I was like, take me.
Well, and that's exactly what she had to run into the bathroom and go, take care of herself after
She
that
got a
one.
little fix.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show, like, she
little
wants
finger
someone.
puppets going on.
She wants a man who's a man, and she's been
Exactly.
saying that to Charlie for the last several weeks. The last couple of episodes,
Yeah.
she's like, I need a man who's a man.
But Charlie's misinterpreting it. He's like, oh, you want me to treat you like a whore.
Right.
And so then he starts
Slut.
calling her and Hannah slut. Yeah.
So see,
But
again,
she just wants you to be a little more rough, a little bit more of a bad guy.
the difference between being a douche and being, being confident and being a man.
Taking control.
Just take control of the situation. It's okay. Like, you don't have to be forceful and mean about it, but sometimes a girl
Aggressive.
just likes a little bit of aggression.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
But I think that it took her boss doing that extra little nudge and push because she's not an aggressive person, so
Right.
she wouldn't have gone after the artist.
No, but I like his quote there too. I need, you need to give, a little bit less of a shit about it.
Right.
Because she was trying to be apologetic, and he's like, no, that's not sexy. Stop it right now.
He was trying to pump her up. Like, no, you need to be more confident.
Yeah, you need to stop right now.
But there, you can see that there was a sexual attraction and a lustful nature there, and I think we know that something's going to happen between them.
right,
Oh, yeah.
especially because he stayed. He could have walked away, but he stayed there.
Oh, because he's persistent.
Oh, absolutely.
The confident guy's always persistent, and so he goes to her. He's like, "So do you really live with your boyfriend?" And she's like, "No, I don't live with my boyfriend." And so it opens her staying and him staying opens up Pandora's box, so to speak. So that way there can be something more, which is
Right.
why she's like, "I'm not going to kiss you."
Right, exactly. That she was trying to play hard to get.
But I like his
Playing,
reaction
operative
back.
word.
That makes him even hotter because he's like, "What makes you think I wanted to kiss you?"
He's a G.
Totally. And, so we're a sucker for that crap.
Oh yeah.
and she's falling for it. Well, we're gonna see something happen pretty spicy coming up.
I hope so.
So now we get to Shoshanna's character, which is really, really funny.
She cracks me the heck up.
Okay, was she petting a pillow when Hannah walked
I
out
think
of the
she was.
bathroom?
Oh, I thought she was petting her snuggle or snuggie.
Well, that white.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if it was like a cat or if it was just a pillow.
It was
I think
like
it
a
was like
fuzzy
a
pillow.
furry
Fuzzy
pillow.
pillow.
Yeah.
So she was just like, fiddling with it as she's watching her very, very interesting game show on the Game Show Network.
Baggage.
Which I thought was really funny because, she says, well, Hannah's like, well, we don't have cable.
Yeah.
And so we don't watch stuff like that. And so Hannah, she's like, well, what is this show Baggage all about? And she says, well, the chick on the show right now, there's little baggage, medium baggage, and the biggest baggage. And her little baggage is the fact she spends $1,000 on her weave, which Jerry Springer calls unbelievable, which I thought was so cute. Like, she's very quirky and
Her comedic
adorable.
timing is awesome.
Yeah.
And she really is. And then she says, her medium baggage is the fact that she plans her wedding after the first date. And then her biggest baggage is poking holes in condoms, which I was like, oh my God. And Hannah says it, but she
That's
goes,
scary.
who does that?
Yeah. Very scary.
The girl that wants to trap you.
I know. But the fact that that's a game show, like that's perceived, that's funny.
Well, the fact that Hannah was even admitted to not having cable, and this is a TV show, HBO, on cable. Didn't you find that was kind of funny?
Yeah, well, I
Girls is
think-
on HBO, and most people that age don't really have cable.
No, and that that's what's really interesting about their advertising and their promotional techniques, because when the show first debuted, they put the first episode online for free. So people were able to watch it on YouTube and on HBO.com, and that for free to try to get more people to subscribe to HBO, and with the social media and all of that. So it's interesting to see, because it would seem like the viewers would be in their early 20s, and
Right.
and I know when I was in college, I could barely afford to have kids.
Did you have? And
Well,
we, yeah.
I don't think unless I would go to like my
I don't think
aunt's
my
house.
mom has cable right now.
Until Girls started, I was like, oh, my 3 months of free HBO's up. I think I'm going to cancel. But then this show started. I'm like, all right, I'll bite the
Renew.
bullet.
Yeah.
I'll keep it coming. It's all good.
Well, that's got to be a little bit challenging for the show. So hopefully, with our AfterBuzz show and people tuning in, we can try to build up the hype and let people know.
Absolutely. And and Lena, she's such a great writer, and she sees and views things in such an interesting and quirky way that I think is very brave, because a lot of the things that we see see even on this episode. Like, you know, Marnie going into the bathroom to pleasure herself is not at all what I expected to see.
Oh, I was happy for her.
It was a Samantha moment.
It absolutely was. It was something that, you know, that was a very hot moment, and they showed that how hot that moment was. And I thought that is that's brave television for the audience that they're, you know, appealing to. Because it's not a Sex and the City audience. It's
not.
Younger than
Although
that.
they did have a Sex and the City poster up when they were talking about the show Baggage.
They pay homage to that, and they, you know, I like that.
But that's good. They give their respect to the show that came before them.
Absolutely, and it's kind of like where, you know, the Sex and the City girls could have been before they became.
Yes, that's the feel that I get.
To sex, you know, it's the road to be fabulous.
Well, and I like how they break it down. You know, when Shoshana and Hannah are having this conversation about the show, the game show Baggage, you know, Hannah's like, Shoshana's like, Hannah, so what's your baggage? And then she proceeds to say what her baggage is, and it becomes very realistic at that point. It's like, well, my littlest baggage is IBS. My medium baggage is that I don't love my grandmother. And she's like, you really don't like your grandmother? She's like, no, I really don't. Like, just, she's so disconnected. And then her biggest baggage, which you find, we're starting to learn that she's very hung up on being a virgin.
Yeah.
And it's really like taking its toll on her. And you can see she's very upset. She's like, everybody around me is having sex and I'm not having sex. And then Hannah shares what her baggage is. She's like, well, my littlest baggage is I'm unfit for jobs.
No one will.
Very true.
Yeah. She's like, my medium baggage is I have 4 cupcakes and I ate one in the bathroom.
What is her eating cupcakes in the bathroom? Because she ate it in the bathtub before. Now she's eating them on the toilet. This girl loves cupcakes in the bathroom.
Well, that could be her thing of being embarrassed about it or feeling bad about it.
Maybe eating in public or something.
About, you know, just kind of like that doesn't want anybody to know, hiding it.
And then she shares what her biggest baggage is, which is having HPV. So when you look at a show like this on HBO, I mean, you couldn't have this on a regular network because of the content, but it's extremely relatable to the point where you want to watch it. You want to feel connected. I feel connected to it.
Oh, definitely.
I'm in my 30s and I'm like, dude, I still feel like that sometimes.
It's dealing with female insecurities, from weight to sexuality to men and the way that they make you feel, jobs, everything.
Just sustaining yourself on your own, being an independent individual. You know what?
How to make it in America.
Absolutely. Let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and we'll, you know, wrap it up, get into some news and predictions.
Sounds awesome.
AfterBuzz TV. Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV. AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
What are you guys laughing at over there?
I'm sorry, I'm cracking. You're soft and round like a dumpling. Oh. That's not a compliment.
That's not a compliment at all.
I'm just thinking about what he said to her. I'm cracking up.
Well, real quick, I was reading some of the tweets, and because we were just talking about Marnie, somebody said, I mean, even the jerk artist happens in real life to to NYC girls. It's a rite of passage. You know, so again, it's, you know, being realistic to, you know, things people go through.
Yeah.
So with that being said, things that are realistic. So, you know, Hannah's dealing with this whole HPV thing. She shares it with Shoshana, and then Shoshana just nonchalantly brings up, she's like, oh, by the way, Jessa has HPV. She's had it for years. She has many strands
of it.
And then what did she say? She goes, Jessa says, all adventurous women do.
Right. Like, that's her way of just excusing it. Yeah, you know. All adventurous women do.
It's things we go through. Whatever. It shows you've lived.
Right.
You get HPV.
And by adventurous, she meant sexually empowered.
Yeah. So that is not okay, you guys. It's not.
No, it's definitely not. But a lot of the things that Jessa does isn't okay. They aren't appropriate. You know, the way she responds to things isn't appropriate. And so, you know, she's getting ready for her new job as a babysitter / nanny.
Which I feel is very inappropriate for Jess to be a babysitter.
Oh, after she just missed her abortion appointment?
Yeah.
But did you see the dress that she was wearing? So her dress was completely see-through.
And she's wearing neon pink panties and bra underneath it.
And she's like, well, what? It's floor length. So
what's wrong with it?
Her rationalization on things just really doesn't match in the real world.
Well, she's the free spirit of the friends, though. She's the traveler. She's the gypsy. So, I mean, it makes sense for her not to know better.
Well,
Right,
and then,
I
so
guess.
she's babysitting the children, which the novel of the little girl, until you pointed it out, I was like, where is this little girl learning about alcoholism?
Okay, well, first, Jess is going to babysit for obviously this, crazy career power woman that says that she has a shoot. So she could be a photographer, she could be, in the film industry. We don't really know. But the actress that played the mother of these children is fantastic, and I'll have to look up what her name is.
Oh,
but
I love her.
I love her.
How to
I've
Lose
seen
a
it.
Guy in 10 days.
I love her.
Yes, I remember her.
Anyway, but these kids are adorable, but she's doesn't even really have time to interview Jess. She's just like, I heard so much about you.
Big mistake.
I really wish I had time to talk to you. I heard you're a traveler. I want to pick your brain. Gotta go. Bye. And then she's talking about the little girl has a novel. She said it's only 10 pages, but it's a novel. The little girl's like 6, and she's so it cuts to Jess in this little tent with this little girl eating string cheese, and the little girl's reading her novel about some lady that just went through a divorce and found this man that helped her through her alcoholism and all this, and it's coming from a little 6-year-old girl.
And she's applauding it. I think she was trying to be encouraging. She's like, I'm enjoying the book, and I love my string cheese. Keep reading.
Great story. Keep going.
Right.
Great story.
So, after the reading of the novel, Jess puts the kids to sleep, and then all of a sudden the dad comes home. So here's yet again another inappropriate moment for Jessa to be involved in. And so they're having this interaction. She's kind of being quirky and kind of rude. And
They're smoking pot.
And then he asks her.
Yeah.
And it's like, first of all, if wifey came home, if I was wifey and I came home to my husband smoking
inappropriate,
blazing with the nanny or the babysitter, there'd be some going down.
That's half your age and kind of hot, It's wrong in all all accounts wrong.
I love how he said, how did it go tonight? And she's like, with what? Oh, the kids.
Right. Oh,
right.
I kicked her in the head. She's fine.
She's so resilient.
Well, the moment that he walked in, I knew and I smelled trouble because she's sexually empowered and
she attracts trouble.
And she attracts trouble,
does.
right? And I know that something's going to happen with them, and you can tell by the uncomfortableness that she was experiencing after they had smoked and they had the munchies. Mm-hmm. And when he tells her, I still have to, pay her, she runs away. She flees the scene when the daughter comes into the kitchen.
Right.
And that was a sign of her feeling, I think, a bit insecure about the position that she was in. I think she knew in her mind that it was wrong.
Yeah, she had the realization that, I shouldn't be here anymore. Gotta go.
The little girl.
Or
she's
she
like,
thought, or she thought the daughter.
What the little girl say? Are you eating my lunch snack? You don't go to night school,
right?
He's like, sometimes Daddy needs snacks too. Well, you don't go to night school.
Well, I was thinking that she could either be upset in that moment about the daughter intruding on her moment with her father, because that seems like more her character. Like she would be a little bit upset about the girl throwing salt.
It could be kind of blocking her.
Yes,
how dare
blocking.
she? How dare she? That little girl.
Right. Or it could have been a realization that what she was doing was wrong. But I don't think that it was that. The way that she fled the scene means that because he still needs to pay her, now they have to see each other again.
Right.
So speaking of things that are doing wrong, so Hannah, it cuts to Hannah at home tweeting, and she's about to go and put her business on Twitter, like in a not so good way. But thank God she actually steps back and she's like, I'm not going to tweet that. She was going to tweet that her ex-boyfriend's gay.
Yeah. My life is a lie. My ex-boyfriend dates a guy.
And it's her fault.
But it rhymes.
Well, because she's a writer. She has to
right.
write
Yeah,
everything she does.
Absolutely. Her twit pic is her with the pen or pencil.
Oh my gosh, so cliche.
It is. And so she goes and she tweets that all adventurous women do, and which leads to Marnie coming home, and then it's super dance party, which I know I've done that. You go home and you're just like blasting your music, and your friend comes home and then you're dancing like crazy, but they got a little close there.
Well, I like that they they just danced off the bad day. Just
that's how I
danced it out.
I didn't take it I didn't take it as a lesbian moment.
I didn't either.
No,
I think
it was sweet, but for a second though, because you're with your girlfriend dancing
They
up
booty
in the
bumped
club.
a little bit,
But then she gave her like that loving, endearing, I'm so happy you're home and this day's over kind of hug.
Yeah,
I just think they have a really very close relationship. They cuddle together in bed. They spoon each other. We saw that before. So I just think that it's a very nurturing relationship. And of course, we know, she's playing a mother to Hannah in a way.
Yeah. So I think it was cute, and I think that she kind of had to dust off her "I almost cheated on my boyfriend" thing. Hannah had a STD.
I hope she washed her hands before she started dancing with Hannah, because had she not, she would have been like,
I think she's a little neurotic for that. I think she's definitely going to be clean and good to go.
That would have been awful. Hannah would have been like, "What's that smell?"
All right. Well, do we have some news and stuff we could get into today?
Silence.
Did anybody do it?
News.
Okay, so I just heard a couple cool things about just celebrities really getting into the show and really being a fan of Lena Dunham, the writer and star of the show. John Cusack tweeted recently that he ran into her and got a chance to meet her at The View, and he tweeted that he met her, thought she was great, and is definitely going to watch her show. And then he did a follow-up tweet that he watched it, thought it was great. The cast from The New Girl, or tweet telling everybody to watch it, which I think is fantastic. Colin Hanks was tweeting and telling people to watch it. So she's getting a lot of industry support from her fellow actors about how great this show is.
Well, rumor has it that they're comparing her to being like a Woody Allen style writer. Where her work is not exactly something that you would run to the theater and see, but it's quirky enough and it's good enough for it to be that you want to keep going to see what she's going to do next. So it's interesting.
Right. And I also read an interesting article on Gawker where they were comparing Veep to Girls, and they're both HBO shows, but Veep debuted with higher ratings, obviously because of the star power in the show.
Right.
But they, and Gawker had been giving Girls a hard time. It had really been kind of, just being really harsh when they were reviewing the show, and it kind of changed its tune. They compared the two shows about, the sexiness, the banter, and, just the kind of the culture of each show. And even though both shows are completely different, by the end of the article, it's I think we really need to change who we talk smack about.
Yes.
And now we need to start really, sticking it to Veep because we think Girls is bad, which kind of was the tie-in of the thing, which I think is great. So we're hoping that, the youngsters can get some cable and we can
maybe they can come to the AfterBuzz studio and watch it.
You guys can come in and watch it with us.
Trust me, there is a way. Where there's a will, there is a way.
Absolutely.
If I don't have cable, I know you will.
Exactly.
So we'll make it happen.
Yeah, it's tough because of this demographic, but I definitely love that the show is not being the normal. We don't see supermodels on the show. We see, young children, celebrities, children, but they don't have big, huge names. So they are competing with other shows, and it is a dramatic comedy, which are tough for those to, get off the ground also. But it's doing very well. I mean, it's undeniable. If you watch one episode, you'll love it.
Absolutely. And I'm, which we're starting to prove that just with our fellow AfterBuzzers.
Yeah, everybody wants to be on the show now.
So I love that. So, okay, let's get into some predictions.
Okay.
So, Miriam, what are you excited to see?
Your AfterBuzz TV.
I think that Marnie and the artist are going to hook up. Marnie and Jonathan are going to do it. And I think Hannah's going to get a really big dose of reality when she has to confront Adam again at the fact that he doesn't know what he's talking about. And there's going to be some tension, and she's going to be very sad that she's not going to be getting some something. And as far as Jessa is concerned, I think that her and Daddy are going to wind up doing it, and Mama's going to catch him.
Oh, you think she's going to get caught?
I think she's going to get busted.
Well, piggybacking off of that, I think I do agree that they are going to have an affair. I think that it's going to be a little bit more prolonged, though. I think it's going to last a little bit longer than anticipated because she's a kind of hit it and quit it kind of girl too, and I think that she's going to wind up hooking up with the father and maybe really even having real feelings for him, and he may not possibly leave her for his family, but in her head she may think that he is.
Ooh,
I don't know. I'm just adding some drama to it, Rewrites if necessary.
I think the daughter's going to write about it in her novel.
Oh,
Mom is going to read about it.
I love that, Kelly. I love that. I can totally see that happening.
I think that could happen. So I don't know, and I don't know if Hannah's really going to confront Adam. I think she might let it go.
Really? I think I can see her going back to Adam.
I think they might have a conversation, but I don't know if she'll give him that hard of a time about it. I hope she does, but I don't know if I feel like she will.
I hope she doesn't let him get away with that. The lying to her? But it's not like, I mean, you can't trust a guy who doesn't call you back or text you anyways.
That's true, which she already doesn't, so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, that was a great episode.
I know, we loved it. I can't wait to see what happens next. So make sure to download us on iTunes, leave us your comments, let us know what you thought about our show and the show. We would love to hear about it, and maybe we can get you on the show. Call in and, get to have some fun. Where can they find you?
They can tweet at me, play with my Twitter, at spicy_Mari. That's SPICY_MARI.
You can find me at Miriam L. Gonzalez on Twitter.
And I am Kelly with an IEO79. So catch us next week as we do another AfterBuzz of Girls. Thanks, guys.
Girls!
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.